So, it's the thing we've all been looking forward to this morning. Your 10 best players. PlayStation is coming soon.
It's amazing that the picture there, De Ligt. I mean, 19 years of age.
Yeah.
He's a man, isn't he? See the sort of shoulders, physique.
Yeah, we saw him live in Lisbon a couple of weeks ago.
Jolly up, yeah. Good stuff.
Got to the Benfica Ajax game. But he is an impressive specimen.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them. I haven't seen them play over 90 minutes this year, Ajax. I'm actually hoping one of the English teams will draw them in the last 16. So we'll actually see this Ajax team over 2 legs, and those 2 players in particular, De Jong as well, highly thought of. Interesting to see what type of player De Jong actually is. A lot of talk from him coming into Manchester City as a replacement for Fernandinho, but it's a particular type of play. I mean, you look at Fernandinho, his attributes, very kind of defence-minded, physically aggressive, good tackler, real kind of defensive mindset. Interesting to see that De Jong has got those kind of attributes like in that area of the pitch. But yeah, very exciting times for Ajax. I enjoyed that interview I was in with Joe last night. Like, interesting listening to him, Simon, talk there.
And it's exciting times for us as well. Are those 2 players in the top 10?
Well, I would give him I'm not going to go strong on it because, like I say, I haven't seen enough of them play. You're looking for me top 10. We've had a little bit of a disagreement of sorts, but
we had a full-blown fight. Yeah,
you're looking for outstanding players that really caught the eye in the Champions League. To be honest with you, my natural inclination, things like this, I always look towards some of the young talent for me. I just immediately look in terms of, well, who's caught the eye, up and coming, who's really maybe broken through this year. And the one team for me which really stands out, the one team that stands out head and shoulders is Borussia Dortmund. Because I think generally speaking, we're all a fan of the football club back to Jurgen Klopp's days, but they lost away a little bit there a couple of years ago. Lost a lot of players, change of managers, Tuchel, etc. left. But this year they look as if they're back. And if I look at their team, there's some real talent in there in terms of the youngsters. Jadon Sancho we know all about in terms of the impact he's had at the football club. Hakimi was actually on loan. I believe he's still on loan for Real Madrid. He's really impressed me in the full back position. And a young centre half, Zagadou, who they signed, actually got a free transfer from PSG a season half ago. He's been a mainstay this season. He's out injured at the moment. But a couple of times I've seen him play, I've really impressed. He looks about 6'3", 6'4". Again, he's only 19.
6'5", actually.
Yeah, he's huge. Yeah. But comfortable on the ball, moves over, just in terms of composure, how he carries himself. People talk about kind of Van Dijk, obviously, in terms of that kind of personality. But, Van Dijk's like, in his late 20s, and this last 19 years of age, and shown already the attributes that he can play at the very highest level. Even in terms of centre midfielder, which for me was a problem for Dortmund. They got out-killed there for a while. They lost the balance. They were a bit of a soft touch in the central area of the pitch for me. Had some outstanding young talent high up the pitch. Pulisic has been there for summer. He can't get into the team at the moment. He's one potentially could even move, if not at the end of the season, even in the transfer window. He's been linked to a couple of the English clubs. Brun Larsen as well is coming on the left-hand side. But that central area of the pitch, they brought in Axel Witsel. And he's one of those players, Witsel, was that massive sign. Remember, he left Portugal, he went to Zenit some years, a massive amount of money, 40 million. Doesn't seem much now, but at the time was absolutely huge. And he's a funny one, because I saw him play at the RD, he played in against Dundalk, out in Tallaght for Zenit in the Europa stages. And it was interesting watching him play again. Physical specimen, unbelievable. 6'3", athletic, technically comfortable on the ball, just plays it simple. Just gets on the ball, keeps it simple, wins his fair share of tackles, tracks runners, almost a lot of under-the-radar stuff. But I think he's really benefited Dortmund this year. Him and Delaney in that central area of the pitch and giving them a kind of a real presence in that central area and allowed those younger players who I've spoken about to flourish. Alcácer as well, coming in from Barcelona, bad time there, wasn't playing games, kind of lost his ways a little bit. A huge amount of goals he scored. So if we talk about, I could almost pick 10 players from that Borussia Dortmund team. I think they've been absolutely outstanding. But looking away from them, Inter for me is a team. Talk about centre halves a little bit at the moment. Zagadou there, Van Dijk as well. Van Dijk's obviously worth a mention. If we talk about outstanding,
is he the best centre half in the world at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. But I think there's a couple around him. Koulibaly, we saw him up close for Napoli last night, but I've been a fan of his for the last kind of 18 months. He's really come on, particularly his ball playing has really improved. His ability to kind of step forward and play through midfield. That part of his game has really improved. He's a lot more polished defender than he was a couple of years ago. And Skriniar, who at Inter Milan, is another centre-half I really like. He looks a little bit cumbersome when you see him play. Again, physically imposing, big lad, but a great defender. Very rarely see him beat in 1v1 situation.
He's 6'2". I'm starting to see a trend here.
Yeah, we're not going to see. We're going to haggle over an inch. You know what I mean? You get the picture. But in terms of defending in and around the penalty box, got a little bit Jamie Carragher's about him. For me, loves his defending. You know, that intuition, being in the right place in the box, wins a lot of his headed crosses into the box, senses danger, makes good decisions, and the very best defenders in the world are the best decision makers. We all know that. Reasonably comfortable with the ball on his feet. Like, he looks a little bit cumbersome in possession, but he's actually reasonably comfortable. But he's one who always stands out for me at Inter. I could talk up Perisic a little bit, obviously off the left hand side. I always enjoy watching him play, and Brozovic as well in that central area of the pitch. A lovely football, that ball playing central midfield player. He's one I always enjoy watching. I have enjoyed watching this year for Inter Milan. Now, off the back of that, you could go, I don't know where you want to go.
So the way I'm looking at it here, we've got Zagadou and Skriniar as definitely two of your unheralded talents so far this year. I would say Sancho probably made your top 10 listing.
Yeah, Hakimi I'd put in as in terms of, if you're looking for a back forward, I'd Skriniar, Zagadou, I'd throw Hakimi in there as well. Even going to Paris Saint-Germain, really, you know, you can throw a couple of names there, but not really. Probably from a look at Lyon. Cornet is a couple of players I quite like at Lyon. I've seen him play.
Where does he play?
A couple of times. Plays can play predominantly off the flanks. He's a real threat. Very athletic, dynamic player. I think he might have actually scored in the opening game against Manchester City.
Yeah, I think so.
Memphis Depay, I think, is worth a mention.
He's really had a resurgence, hasn't he?
Absolutely, because he was finished. I mean, he was just shown the door at Manchester. It looked as if almost people just giving up on him, you know what I mean? In terms, not just his ability, but just in terms of attitude. It looks as if he's absolutely totally lost his way for a lot of different reasons. But he's really bounced back. So give him a little bit of credit for that. And even the Valencia team last night, this was even before the game last night. Valencia team I always enjoyed playing. We saw him play at Old Trafford this season and played some really sharp football. You know what I mean? Are
you looking at like Soler?
Yeah, I'm looking at Santi Mina. Even kind of
Cheryshev, I suppose, is another guy on the mix.
Yeah, I like the pairing in midfield, Dogbia. And his partners eluded me now in centre midfield. The ball playing centre midfielder, which they have. But just in terms of having a real kind of happy balance to the team, work hard out of possession, nice and compact. And in possession.
Parejo,
the captain, of course. Yeah, again, you look at him, really slow pace, slow move. It's a real effort to get around the pitch. It's certainly out of possession of the ball. In possession of the ball, you'll have it anyway. Playing the half turn, plays forward. Takes people out of the game, range of pass and big switch of play, can play in tight areas. Really clever little operator as well. And Pacino played last night. I've seen him play a couple of times and really enjoyed watching him play. Last night, he really linked up well with Soler on the right-hand side. Got himself forward, some great delivery into the box from that right-hand side. So he's another one in terms of full-backs. It was actually caught the eye, not particularly last night, but before that, I've looked at him and thought he really makes a contribution in the final third of the pitch. So outside the obvious, look at Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico.
No, we don't want that here.
Exactly.
We want your hipster takes.
Yeah, exactly. So for that reason, I look at Valencia, I look at Lyon, those players that we've mentioned, Inter Milan, we've mentioned those players already. I mean, many more do you want? Here. You got 9 players.
Do you want to throw in? I don't know. If you want to.
What type of player are you looking for? What position are you looking for?
We're well stacked in. We're well stacked in midfield and we're well stacked at centre half. Is there a number 9 in there anywhere, or is the day of the number 9 being your best player on the pitch well and truly gone?
Oh no, there's always room for the number 9. I mean, Akate, I think, is a word mention at Dortmund for the reasons that I've said.
He's a great bench player.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah, he can't start.
Yeah, he hasn't. That's correct, because he hasn't actually started a huge amount of games. But his goal scored and return in terms of minutes on the pitch,
it's insane.
Be up there. There can't be many people better than him.
That's a pretty good list. Tommy's changing my number 10 here, which is Alcácer from Dortmund at the moment.
You really wanted an actual thing. You wanted a back 4 in there. You wanted a midfield 3. You wanted every other player to complement each other. You wanted a happy ball. I thought this was a throwaway. Let's throw 10 players out there. You're actually looking to put a team together.
No,
you're a Premiership manager. This is Premiership manager.
Football manager. Is it? Time to get addicted to Football Manager soon. Actually, all I was trying to do was to stop your runaway train of picking 6'5" centre backs. You picked a few of them. So Kenny's top 10 footballers of the Champions League so far. I'm actually liking this list. I'm actually surprised.
Canic in there. We haven't even from Juventus, because I've been underwhelmed with him. I've been underwhelmed with him the last couple of years, particularly when he played against us for Bosnia in the playoffs. I remember. I was really disappointed in him. He had a big reputation at that time. I hadn't seen enough of him, but I'd have to say the game of Manchester at Old Trafford this year, he really impressed me, really stood up, kind of almost ran the show at times at Old Trafford.
So we've actually got an 11 here, but we don't have a goalkeeper. So last man back, we'll say. So we've got Zagadou, we've got Van Dijk, we've got Skriniar.
Zagadou and goal, 6'4". I was going to get the ball past him. Put a pair of gloves on him.
He'd be absolutely fine. We've got Sancho, Brozovic, Hakimi, Cornet, Depay, Soler, Alcácer and Pjanic. It's a pretty good 11. Michael Dara-McCauley came in earlier this week and we asked him to pick his 10 top albums of the year, and he also picked 11 albums instead of 10. He couldn't fit in 10. You've done the same with your top 10 footballers, so I guess great minds think alike. Thank you for that, Kenny. Thank you for being so enthusiastic about this. I'm actually really surprised.
Oh, but, I dug deep. I dug deep.
You really did. It was tough, I know, but it was worth it.